have much gratitude to be here. I've been waiting a year for you to come here. I missed you last year when you were here. I've been a student on your path through, I guess it started with The Secret with Bob Proctor. And I did an exercise that he recommended. And that was to make a list of what I really desired. And I did. And that was to be abundant and prosperous, healthy, and a loving relationship with my current wife. And I had these goals and aspirations and dreams. So when I wrote this all out, I said, okay, now I'm abundant and I'm prosperous, and I never want to work again. And I choose this house that's on the river up near us with a boat. I visualize it. And the first thing that stopped was the work. Just dried up. So I said, okay, we'll act as if. I did that for 2 months. And I said, then I better start thinking about work. And it's been a year, and we're holding spiritual space for this home. We currently live in a beautiful home that we appreciate. And I guess my question to you is something that you said earlier. You said that you have to become a vibrational match in order to have what you desire. I don't know what it feels like to be a multimillionaire, so I don't know how to set off that vibration.
Well, that's a powerful question, isn't it? Because if I'm over here and I want to be over there and I have to feel like I'm over there before I can get over there, how do I get over there when I'm over here? Because I feel like I'm over here, but I want to be over there. How can I feel like I'm over there when I'm over here? And we say, well, stop talking about over here, for one thing. In other words, try to talk more about what it would be like to be over there. Just try to imagine. Try to find the feeling place of that. Make more of an effort. But I want to give you something here. You're really going to like this, because so much of what you say is right on track, and we're just going to give you a little bit more that's going to help some things click into place.
Okay.
We touched on this earlier, but we really want to make a strong emphasis of it with you because you're so ready to hear it. The creative process is really 3 steps, and the first step is ask. So when you sat down and wrote what you wanted, you're thinking about that as like asking. In other words, what do I want? But we want you to understand that long before you sat and made that list, life was causing you to know what you want. That's why you were able to write it relatively easily. In other words, the synthesizing of life is what's causing you to ask, and you don't even need to use words to do it. You've been asking, and it's all queued up for you. Step 2 is source answers, and we've already talked about that, about how the source within you gives its undivided attention to everything that your life causes you to become. So step 1 happens without you even really knowing that you're doing it, and step 2 happens without your effort also. Step 3 is where 100% of your emphasis must be. So when your teacher says to you, write what you want, that's really a step 3 process, because when you're writing what you want, you're thinking about what you want. When you're envisioning what you want, you're allowing what you want. In other words, every process that we offer is toward one effort only, and that's to getting you into the vibrational alignment of what you've been asking for. So now we give you another piece to this, and we say, your emotion lets you know. In other words, when you feel elation, that means in the moment of the elation, you're right on track with that beautiful home you're wanting. When you feel eagerness, you're right on track for it. But when you feel doubt or fear or disappointment, you're not. So you have to ask yourself, over this year that you've been playing with this, have you predominantly felt eager or disappointed? And then we say, if it's been a year, you have predominantly been more worried than you have eager. Otherwise, in a year's time and far less, the manifestation would have shown itself to you as you want it to be. But no worries with that. In other words, the manifestation as it is being lived by you is a perfect indicator of the balance of your vibration. And as you say, you have a beautiful home, you're feeling appreciation for it. In other words, things are unfolding nicely for you. And you don't just all of a sudden stop offering a vibration that you've been accustomed to offering and offer another one. In other words, it's a sort of a gradual leaning toward what feels better and better and better. We just want you to understand that, start in another place. Can you feel how much easier it would be to be hopeful and expectant of something that you want if you were absolutely certain that you'd done step 1 and step 2? In other words, if you know that it's already done for you and all you have to do is find a way of lining up with it, doesn't it make it seem simpler to just line up with it, you see? And that's the thing that we want to impart to you. You're not making this happen. You've already made it happen. It's happened vibrationally. Now you're letting it happen. And that's where the letting go of the oars are. So then we want to ask you, does worry feel like you've got hold of the oars? And does hope feel like you've let go of them? Does struggle feel more like you've got hold of the oars? I don't know what I'm doing, I need to figure out what to do. You've got hold of the oars. Or it's already done, it's in vibrational escrow, I just have to relax and allow it to be. It's just one thought at a time, reaching for the feeling that feels a little better to you.
I understand that. And the serendipity that surrounds that home is incredible. We were led to the home. We were led to the location. It feels wonderful. It's serene. It has everything to do with nature, and it makes us feel good being there. And I've even told the owner, I know this is our house. I have absolutely no idea how I'm going to purchase this, but I don't need to know. And he thought we were crazy. But I said, well, you don't know what I know, what I study. And I feel like this is my home. It even looks like my old home. And sure enough, the house is still there. And I know it's there for us. I know it's our home. I really believe that. It's when I get caught up on the how.
Well, that's always, when you ask yourself, you see, here's a way of looking at this. So imagine that you're looking through the lens of a camera and you've zoomed in really specifically. And what you see is messy. So you look around for something that's not messy. And let's say from where you are, everything just kind of looks messy. It's unpleasant. So you just zoom back out where it diffuses the messiness and then it looks better. So the point that we're making there is sort of like being at 50,000 feet, moving across the sky and looking out the window. You're going 500 or 600 miles an hour. You look out and everything's nice and calm. But if you put that same airplane on the ground, it wouldn't be so calm. And the difference is there's less resistance in the more generalized view. So when you talk about what you want and why you want it, you have this more generalized view. When you talk about how it's going to come, where it's going to come from, when it's going to come, who's going to bring it, you get more specific. And when you don't have answers to those questions, it always turns you upstream. It's much more powerful for you to have a diffused general view that's downstream than a specific view that's upstream. In other words, it's far better for you to step back and be general and feel generally good than to focus on some specific that you don't feel control over. You get a sense of what we're talking about?
Yes, I do.
So we just want to ask you some questions and help you feel the movement in this. So is this owner trying to sell this house?
Yes.
So and you can't make it happen today. So you're living in a house that you fear is going to be sold out from under you.
Correct. So
now feel the feeling of that, and now let's turn it downstream. In other words, because that feeling that it's our house, we know it's our house, is that feeling of trying. It's like that feeling of healing. It's an upstream feeling. So you want to relax in that. You want to find a downstream feeling about that. So talk to yourself in a way that releases that knot. And here's the thing that we so want you to hear. We want you to understand that this conversation that we're having is not offered to you so that you can get that house. This conversation that was offering to you is so that you can turn downstream. And if you understand the value of turning downstream, in other words, so often people say, oh, I'll play your silly games, I'll learn your silly processes, I'll do this so that I can get what I want. And we say, that so that I can get what I want puts the kibosh on it almost every single time, because when you say so that I can get what I want, you immediately turn upstream because you right now don't feel that you're getting what you want. It has to be for the emotion of it that you're doing it, not for the manifestation of it. And then we always promise, and accurately, when you shift the vibration, the manifestation must come. But when you take the manifestation out of the equation, it comes faster. So you say, oh, people are looking at this house and it's such a beautiful house, and somebody's going to buy this house before we get our resources together so that we can have it. We're not going to get this house. You feel upstream. It feels equally upstream to say, no, we're going to make it happen. I know we're going to make it happen. That feels upstream too. You got to dissolve the knot that's within you. So you say something like, well, right now we're the only ones living here. Today we get to be here all day. Esther says to Jerry on a pretty regular basis when they're in a beautiful place, can you explain to me why we don't live here? And Jerry always says the same thing. We are living here. In other words, you're here, you're alive, you're focusing. And so let's try to find more downstream feelings. So the thought comes up that somebody's going to sweep in and buy it, and you're trying to find a feeling of relief, not a solution to purchasing the house, a feeling of relief. Well, there are many places that we could be. Variety is fun. There may even be things out there that we haven't seen that we would like even more. We had to be doing pretty good to even find this place. Seems like the universe cooperated with us pretty well for us to be in such an extraordinary place. We're not paying anything close to what this place is worth. That was pretty good creating. We've managed to be here under very good conditions. That was really good creating. Seems like the universe is helping us out on this front. I can only imagine what must be waiting for us. It's fun to get tuned into our vibration. I like being able to use this house as a way to test my feeling of alignment. Appreciation of what's here is always soothing to me, but appreciation with the feeling that it might go away always feels upstream. So I'm going to really give emphasis to the appreciation that I feel. Seems logical to me that in the same way that this house has come, that this house could stay. Or it seems logical to me that whether this house becomes our permanent house or whether another one comes, it really is irrelevant because good things are coming to us. It's nice that good things don't have to all come at once. It's the shortage consciousness that we put on ourselves that makes us feel fitful about this house. Yes, it was good creating, but our good creating didn't stop in the finding of this house. There's plenty of good creating still happening with us. We're really good at this. Look how we've come together. Look how many things are coming. Look how the universe always brings us what we want when we come into alignment with it. I sure do feel better as I'm just chewing here. I feel better just thinking about these things. I've come into vibrational alignment with who I am. If this house or something like it is already in my vibrational escrow, I've certainly come a long way to coming into alignment with it now, because right now I feel perfect ease about all of this. I think my work on this subject is done for now. You see, that is the work. It's just bringing yourself into a relaxed feeling of relief about whatever it is that is bothering you. But before this can make sense to you, you have to accept that step one already happened and that it's in your vibrational escrow and that source is there holding it and calling you toward it and offering a vibration about it, and that you can feel when you click into alignment with it and you can feel when you're out of alignment with it. And if you let your total intention be to click into alignment, to click into alignment, to click into alignment, then all things are possible. This house, beautiful as it is minuscule in comparison with what's in your vibrational escrow. The things that you have set forth, you have not even begun to scratch the surface of. And we love it that you found things that you want, but we want far more than the things that you found that you think you want, like that house. We want you to find what you really want, which is alignment with who you really are. That's where all of your hopes and dreams are, is in alignment with who you really are, you see.